40 million Americans? What is he talking about?
My medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month. Oh, that will kill me. That would kill my friends.
I did that stickers. So put that under the 770.
Ladies and gents, strap in. Trump's America is sizzling hot. The political turf's warping fast, catching even die-hard MAGA fans off guard. Let's unpack this roller coaster. It's beyond the usual mudslinging or media storms. Something raw's brewing. Loyal Trump warriors are blinking twice, feeling the heat creep in. You hop on this crazy train, braving the chaos, thinking you've got the stomach for it. Then bam! Reality slams, the tune kicks up, and the floor quakes underfoot. Wild ride or wipeout, ready for more? Tell me below. Craving these shakeups? Like this video, subscribe. We're riding the wave next.
So Donald Trump is now saying that if he's elected, he's going to kick millions upon millions of Americans off of their health care. I'm not joking. Like, he just called to terminate health care for millions of Americans. This is insane. In a recent Truth Social post, he said the cost of Obamacare is out of control, plus it's not good health care. Not true. He says, I'm seriously looking at alternatives. We had a couple of Republican senators who campaigned for 6 years against it and then raised their hands not to terminate it. It was a low point for the Republican Party, but we should never give up. Yeah, more than 40 million Americans have health insurance under the Affordable Care Act, which is Obamacare. And Donald Trump's like, yeah, we should get rid of it. I'm looking at alternatives. We should terminate it. Terminate healthcare for 40 million Americans? What is he talking about? Like, this is what's going to happen if he's elected. He tried to get rid of Obamacare once with no substitute plan, and now he's still saying we should never give up on getting rid of healthcare for 40 million people. The Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, actually helps people. So of course Donald Trump wants to get rid of it because all of his policies are garbage. Just think about that. 40 million people he wants to kick off healthcare. Wow.
Daylight savings, it's got to go. It's got to go. Imagine you're dying, you're on your deathbed, you only have a little while to live, and they turn the clocks forward. You die faster. Sorry, kids, Granny's dead. She lost an hour. It's a disgrace.
This is my message to the media. First of all, what you need to know is that I'm a nobody. Unfortunately for you, there are tens of millions of nobodies. If you will not report on these protests, we will bring it to your fucking door. And we will do it every day until you cover the truth of what is happening in this country.
Republican parents are in the FO phase of FAFO. So a couple days ago, my mom texted me asking if I could pick up her prescription because the pharmacy filled it before they were actually going to be in town. I said, sure, no problem. She told me it would be about 220 bucks. So I was like, okay, no worries. So I roll up to the pharmacy and the lady tells me it's going to be $778. And I was like, whoa, that's a huge difference from what my mom said. So can you just give me a couple minutes and I'm gonna try to make sure that they're cool with it. So I call my mom, no answer. I call the house phone, no answer. I call my dad finally and he picks up. He said, well, I feel like that's amount I've paid before at the pharmacy for your mom. So I was like, okay. The woman said, yeah, and you're lucky you came today because the insurance company called yesterday and repriced it. So before it was gonna be $1,000. I was like, oh, I'm saving money. Mom's gonna be so happy. Home, text my parents, hey, this is what you guys owe me. My mom freaks out. She's like, what? What? It was only for one prescription for a 3-month supply. She's like, it's always $220. Dad starts freaking out because he was like, wait, what prescriptions did you pick up? And I said, it was only for one. He thought when I called him that it was these 2 drugs that she normally gets together. My mom was like, what the heck? That's crazy, da-da. And I was like, well, you paid $220 before, right? She's like, yep, 3 months ago when I picked it up. I said, well, Mom, the only thing that has changed within 3 months is you know what? I still have the prescription. And I bought some of these lovely I did that stickers. So put that under the $778 and we'll be so excited to deliver that to my parents when they get back in town.
Trump is now ending coverage of telehealth for Medicare patients. This information is coming from Representative Ro Khanna, but always know that fact-checking in Google is easy and free. This will go in effect on April 1st. What is devastating about this, besides the fact that it will greatly impact healthcare access for seniors, is that it's going to affect patients who have mobility issues, who are in a wheelchair, or have a tough time actually leaving their home, as well as people who are in rural settings who already are limited in access to healthcare. My question is, how would cutting coverage for telehealth help save money and give money back? I don't get it. It's actually a more efficient way to deliver care and saves healthcare providers money and time. This makes no sense to me, and it's really sad. And I hope that we can fight to make sure that this really doesn't happen.
Trump administration is entering the find out stage. We're not even 2 months into the presidency, and they're already finding out. The boycotting is working. Elon Musk is no longer the richest man in the world. I think he's lost half of his wealth in less than 2 months. The boycotting is working. Palestine will be free. There are countless people out in the streets throughout the world right now protesting and organizing, and we haven't even begun. Count this as a win. Keep protesting, keep boycotting. Boycott Israel, boycott Tesla, boycott Target, etc. Keep organizing.
Imagine you're at a wild bash with your crew. High fives flying, unity blasting, feeling bulletproof. The buzz is unreal, pure hype. Then, boom! The DJ flips the script, tempo drags, and the air turns weird. That's Trump's America right now. Surprises are crashing the party, nudging even the VIP MAGA squad who thought they owned the dance floor. The beat's off, rules are remixing, and nobody's got the map. You know the drill? Trump snaps his fingers, grabs his win, then, poof, gone like a ghost, leaving jaws dropped. 1 sec he's owning the stage, twisting the tail his way. Next, he's vapor, dropping a mess of what nows. Your loyalty's a hat-tossed mid-trick. Where's it landing? Echoes of his moves bounce loud, shaking the room, impossible to dodge. It's a jaw-dropping circus. Grab snacks, kick back, and watch this saga spin. Stakes sky high, players wild, twists relentless. Got thoughts?
Instead of using hydraulic, like on tractors that can handle anything from hurricanes to lightning to anything, they use magnets. It's a new theory. Magnets are going to lift the planes up, and it doesn't work. And they had billions and billions of dollars of cost overruns. I met the architect. I said, have you designed a ship before? This is one of the biggest ships in the world. It's like landing at LaGuardia Airport. But you look at the kind of waste, fraud, and abuse that this country is going through, and we have to straighten it out.
It's Donald Trump's first day in office, so let's run through exactly what he did today. Thank you to reporter Reese Gorman for compiling this list. First, he rescinded 78 Biden executive orders and actions. He instituted both a regulatory freeze and a freeze on all federal hiring. So if you're looking or applying for a government job right now, you are out of luck. Instituting a requirement that all federal workers return to in-person work 5 days a week immediately. He officially withdrew from the Paris Climate Treaty again, and then had multiple directives to the federal government to, quote, protect free speech and to end the weaponization of government. And oh yeah, he's pardoning the people who were convicted on charges related to Jan 6, and they are being released tonight. Yeah, listen, this is just day one in many days of probably pretty terrible government. My promise to you is to continue to keep you all updated because, look, it's overwhelming. You can't see everything that Trump does on a day-to-day basis. So I will try to break down as many stories and as many actions as Trump takes and keep you all informed of what happens over the next few years.
One thing you should know about me is I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. I don't stand for any of that shit. All of the government is a lie. And I also want you to know that I don't care about your political views. It's not right to deport these people out of our country. This is God's planet. Imagine telling a human, made by the same God, that they're not allowed on a piece of his planet. But no, I want you to actually think about, what if we banned all the pedophiles? Deported all the rapists? Your children would actually be safer in this country. It's not those that come here illegally, but those who are here already legally. That's evil. Preying on your children, dear. It's not the Mexicans or the Latinos. Get out of here with that fucking bullshit, dear. But a conversation that most of you are not ready for is the church. Most of the pedophiles and the rapists come from the church. sex offenders from the church. It's not people from out of the country, it's our own people in this country, dear. Yes, I'm sure there's a few Mexicans or Latinos or Chinese, whoever, who has done something illegally. Let me remind you, though, it was white people who did the most illegal thing to another human, called slavery. We enslaved just about all the black people that was in this country. Huh?
Trump administration has officially violated a lawful court order from Judge Boasberg concerning the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Here's what could happen next. Are we in a constitutional crisis? If the reporting is true, we could be on the verge of one. Essentially, Judge Boasberg said you have to turn the planes around if there are any planes carrying undocumented migrants deported under this proclamation. And Axios is saying, well, the Trump administration intentionally didn't do that. I did a full legal breakdown on my Substack link to my bio of everything you need to know about next steps. But essentially right now, Judge Boasberg could take the extraordinary step and hold a Trump administration official in contempt, assuming this reporting is true. This contempt could be both civil, including fines, and criminal contempt. But at the end of the day, remember, Trump is the president. He can pardon anyone, and he is immune himself. So there's really not much contempt power that a federal judge necessarily has. Now, the key caveat here is that the Trump administration is asserting that Judge Boasberg's ruling didn't necessarily apply to flights already in international waters. Based on his language, it appears as though it did, but that's the one wiggle room they have. This is going to go up back to Judge Boasberg, I guarantee you. It's going to go through the appellate court systems and may make its way to the Supreme Court. I'll provide you updates every step of the way. Get ready, folks.
The Trump administration has deported a 10-year-old with brain cancer. Last year, this 10-year-old was diagnosed with brain cancer, and she has since undergone brain cancer treatments. Ever since she was diagnosed, her parents brought her to this cancer center in Houston. And every time she went through an immigration checkpoint, her parents showed ICE agents documents from the doctors and her attorneys so that they would allow them to go through and get treatments for their daughter. But under the Trump administration, this was not enough. And on her way to get treatment for brain cancer, ICE agents arrested her parents, including the 10-year-old. And brought them to a detention center. We're not talking about a criminal. We're talking about a family with a 10-year-old with brain cancer. Where's the humanity of this administration? This family with no criminal record. All they wanted was to be able to get treatment for their 10-year-old daughter. Under the Biden administration, she had been allowed to cross to the Texas border, bring their child to get treatment. Because of her cancer, her speech is difficult, and she has mobility difficulties on one side of her body. Now that the family's in Mexico, she can no longer receive the treatments that she desperately needs.
Lady came on TikTok, and she was basically giving some updates about the US. And she said, I got some news regarding the United States of embarrassment. Write that one down. Just write it down.
Hold tight, folks. Trump's crew just torched the rulebook again, thumbing their nose at democracy. This time, it's immigration chaos, deporting folks sans due process despite a judge's red light. Let's unpack this madness. Trump dusted off the 1798 Alien Enemies Act, last big use, World War II, to boot alleged Trinidad gangsters, tagging their crimes an invasion. No hearings, just jet fuel. Federal Judge James Boasberg slammed brakes with a 14-day order, but the admin said, too late. Over 200 flew to El Salvador, claiming planes were airborne pre-ruling. This isn't just bold, it's a constitutional gut punch. Law professor David Super warns, it's executive power on steroids, teetering on contempt. If courts can't leash the White House, is the law just noise? What's next? Total power grab? This isn't just bold, it's a constitutional gut punch. Law professor David Super warns it's executive power on steroids, teetering on contempt. If courts can't leash the White House, is the law just noise? What's next? Total power grab. Loving the drama? Like this video, subscribe. More's dropping fast.